Ducking negativity, I'm bobbing and weaving. Running, got me coughing and wheezing. I can't tell you what's inside the sauce, it's a secret. Only thing you know about me is I'm chasing something I can't ever seem to catch, but I'm patient. Really living in a paradox, it don't make sense. In this paradox, I need greatness. God, give me greatness. Dreams inside my head, screams that I'm not there. Leaning on the edge.
What up, Nerd Nation? Oh, my bad. What's going on, Nerd Nation? I think I'm here now. You probably hear me. If you can hear me, hopefully you can. But I'm back. It's another Nerds at 9, Tuesday. First day of March, so we made it through February. Hopefully everything's going good for you. Going good for me for the most part, I will, before we even get into the video, shout out my Towson Tigers, the men's basketball team. Clinched our first, well, I don't know when the last time we did it, but we won the Colonial Conference regular season title. So shout out to those guys over there at Towson. I didn't get my, I'm all over the place tonight, all over the place. But yeah, shout out to those guys, the Towson basketball team. Obviously, that's the place I went to school at. I thought I had the hoodie on. I don't have a Washington one. But yeah, we're gonna do big things. Hopefully, we win the conference tournament. And when we start talking about some March Madness, maybe my Towson Tigers might be there. So root for them for sure. But obviously the title of the video and, what I think the biggest news in sports right now, the MLB announces they will be canceling the first 2 series. Obviously, if you've been following it all, the lockout's been going on. So I'm going to get into all that, what both sides are upset about, all that good stuff. But first, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button on the stream. Yeah, help out the analytics and everything. But I do want to just quickly talk about Ja Morant real quick. I had to do it. He went insane last night. Like, oh my god, I'm getting choked out. I gotta get some water here first. Yeah, Ja Morant. Excuse me. Jeez. Getting ahead of myself. I'm just getting too excited. All right, so this is what he did last night. He hit a 3 from almost half court. He completely posterized Jacob Poeltl, some guy from the Spurs, big man, just completely dunked on him. It was insane. Then he hit a buzzer beater, insane. I think it was Steven Adams launched the ball the length of the court, 0.4 seconds. He jumps up in the air, catches it, like somehow flips it over, even just in the direction of the basket, just goes straight in. So yeah, he did all 3 of those things. That was before halftime last night. He was just incredible. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. 52 points, 22 for 30 from the field. That's insane efficiency on that many shots. 4 for 4 from downtown. And, he's not really known as the greatest three-point shooter. Did all that in only 34 minutes. The guy's a beast. There's nothing else to say. I've seen people try to compare him to, players that came before him. But personally, I've just never seen anybody that plays like Ja Morant. I mean, and I know there's some people that are similar, in athleticism, but I just don't think anybody had the athleticism, the smoothness to their game that he has at that point guard position. So currently 5th in MVP odds. They're 43-20, which is 3rd in the West. He's averaging 27.6 points, 6.6 assists, 5.9 rebounds. So yeah, give it up to Ja Morant right now. He's one of the he's a bona fide superstar. We can definitely mark that down. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about outside of baseball today. Again, I don't really talk about baseball on this channel as much as I would like to, just because it's, I don't know, there's not really that much to talk about usually. They just play, things happen, but right now they're not playing. And like I said, the commissioner announced they're canceling the first 2 series of the season, which this is just an incredibly bad look for baseball right now. It's devastating if you're a fan of the game. You know, obviously I do some fantasy baseball. All that's on hold. You know, everybody's just kind of waiting for, you know, some kind of news or clarity before we do any type of drafting or anything like that. So it's really just putting a big damper on the game. Obviously, baseball, I feel like, has been, you know, losing popularity, you know, over the years, especially, you know, as I've grown up. But this just can't be good, I think. You know, obviously, if you're a fan, you really want them to play. But what's really at stake, you know, there's... First, I'd say, there's really three main things that I could find that were, like, the big holdups, which the competitive balance tax, which is pretty much just like a luxury tax if you spend a certain amount of money. So the players want that threshold raised. You know, the owners obviously want it lower, you know. So, well, honestly, I like, it makes sense, I guess, why the owners want it lower, just because they don't want to have to pay, you know, as much in salary to the players, that's pretty much the crux of the whole, you know, lockout and argument is, you know, players want more money. They want to be treated better from the owners. You know, they feel like they're the main asset and they make this thing go. So, you know, the players want $245 million as a threshold. Owners want $220. So I think, you know, at some point they got to meet in the middle there, or, you know, the owners just got to come up on this one, because the players are always end up, you know, giving in and giving up ground, because obviously owners have more money. They're the guys, you know, they're the billionaires. They're the people that sign the checks that pay the players. So, you know, they have more money than them. They can, in theory, last longer without playing. So usually what happens is the players give in. And I'm glad that this time it seems like the players are dedicated, and it seems like they're standing firm, because they have to. I mean, obviously, based on the way all the salaries and free agency and all these things are done, baseball players have the least amount of control, at least compared to NFL and NBA players. And, you know, I already think the NFL, I think their players could do a better job getting, you know, more stuff there. So MLB, like, they're negotiating from a bad spot, you know, the players are. So they got to stand firm on these issues, I feel like, and they are. Obviously, MLB starting to cancel games. So that's one of the big ones right there, is the competitive balance tax. Other things, minimum salary for players. The players want it up, and, you know, they want $775,000. That's, you know, the number they asked for from the owners. The owners moved their offer up to $700,000. So it seems like we're getting a little ground there as well. So that could be a good thing. I definitely think, you know, minimum salaries, move it up. You know, hey, pay these guys. You know, they do all the work. The owners sit back and make money, and I get it. You know, it's a business, and they got to make money, but they will make money. That's the thing. Like, so you guys know what side I'm on always with the players. So definitely, I think we're getting some ground there. And then the last thing, it seems to be what they're the biggest, like the farthest apart on, at least in terms of numbers, is the bonus pool for pre-arbitration players, which I don't even fully understand. I'm pretty sure, you know, it's just, from the research I've done, it's just money that's available to players that aren't eligible for salary arbitration, still under team control. But, you know, if you do exceptionally well, like, you deserve a bonus. Like, if you become a top candidate for the MVP and you're still making the minimum salary or something, like, something needs to happen there. So I'm pretty sure that's what that money is for. The players want the bonus pool of that to be $115 million. The owners wanted that $25 million. So, like I said, that seems to be the biggest gap. So I'm not, like I said, about all these things, I'm not sure how they get resolved. I am rooting for the players, though. They deserve the money. You know, they put their bodies on the line all year round, really, because, you know, it's not anybody that plays sports at a high level. You know, it's not just, oh, I go out during the season and play. You know, you're committing your whole life and time and, you know, your body to that sport. So shout out to the players. Like, I hope they continue this fight. Fight the man, as they say. But keep on. I'm not saying I hope they continue the fight, as like I hope they don't play, but I hope they get the things that they're looking for. Because it is. I always say it isn't right. These players. I'm not gonna keep saying the same thing. You guys know what I'm saying. These guys deserve it. So some other things that were talked about were international prospect draft. I think that issue's kind of died down. That I don't think that's gonna happen, but it was talked about for sure. And then the league offered a 14-team playoff, and they were gonna give in a little bit on some of those other issues I talked about, but the players didn't want the 14-team playoff, so that got declined as well. So that's kind of where we sit. They put a deadline for it was supposed to be last night, the negotiations yesterday, but they extended that out to 5 p.m. today. Still didn't reach an agreement. That's when Manfred had his press conference. Rob Manfred, the commissioner, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, the commissioner of the league, he gave a press conference. The main thing he said was that they're canceling games. Everything else was just kind of posturing, talking legal jargon that is pretty boring for most people, but just pretty much they don't agree right now. They're working towards a deal, and they're going to keep working towards a deal. That's pretty much the gist of what he said. Other than that, Jeff Passan from ESPN, I thought this was a big piece when he was speaking with Stephen A. Smith today. He said he talked to both veteran, young players, tried to cast a wide range and talk to as many players as he could about the issue. And they all were firm that they're okay with missing the entire season if that's what it takes. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the information I have right now on the situation. Like I said, it's rough for anybody that's a fan of the game. I think it's really bad for the game in general, just like I mentioned with, trying to grow a fan base and young fans. It's not a good look, especially summertime. That's when NBA is done. NFL, they might be just about to start back up, but they're not playing any games yet. All the rest of these sports are done, and it's really when the MLB takes over and shines. So we got to have MLB baseball this summer, or, some of us like me are going to be super bored, but also the league is missing out on an opportunity. So I think that's the reason the owners definitely have to think about, obviously they think about, all these things are going into consideration. People think that the owners can just wait out the players forever, but I think more so than ever, the owners, they need these baseball teams a little bit too. Like, these baseball teams do make money. It does help them in a lot of the other businesses that they might have. So I don't think the owners can just wait forever either, and especially if it's going to be detrimental to the value of the overall league, which obviously would devalue each team within the league. So that's their product, and that's their business at stake, I guess you could say. So let me know what you guys think about this whole lockout situation. Do you think they're going to come to an agreement soon? Do you think they're just going to keep canceling games? How long does this last? How many games we're going to have in the season? I wish I had some of these answers. Like, I really do, but I don't. We just got to sit and wait, pretty much. Like, if I had to predict something, I think at some point they're going to come to an agreement. A few of those issues, like I said, it seemed like they're inching and getting closer to the numbers that each side wants. So that pre-arbitration pool, that's, they're going to have to get that together. But I would say in the next week or two, I think some kind of agreement is made. I don't, like I said, I don't really have any inside information for that, but we'll see. I did want to end off talking about some things that I think are important too, and that's players' legacies. And there's certain things at stake here, starting with some pitchers. Max Scherzer is at 190 wins right now, so obviously 200 wins is a big milestone. So Max Scherzer's at 190, Clayton Kershaw 184, Adam Wainwright at Clayton Kershaw at 185. I'm sorry, Adam Wainwright is at 184. So obviously those are obtainable numbers, but now that we're starting to cancel games, it's going to be harder for those guys to get those wins this season. And, you know, like I said, big milestone numbers for them. So I hope, you know, when Hall of Fame voting and all these things happen, if, you know, depending on how many games we miss, I hope they take some of this into consideration. Because another guy, Miguel Cabrera, who, I mean, he's probably already Hall of Famer, but he needs 13 hits and to get to 3,000, which that's like, even if he makes the Hall of Fame already, like that 3,000 hits mark is it in baseball. So they need to get on the field so he can hit that. 600 doubles, he needs 3 more for that. So that's a big deal. And this is probably his last year. So, you know, he's super old. So, if they sit out the whole season, he might not ever get that 3,000, which would be a shame. Same Albert Pujols, 21 home runs away from 700. I was actually surprised to see that. So 700 home runs from Albert Pujols. He's actually 5th all time right now. He's 17 behind A-Rod, 35 behind Babe Ruth. I don't think he can catch him this year, but hey, we'll see. I mean, I think he could hit that 700 number, so that's a huge number for sure. And then last, I gotta mention Mike Trout. I would feel bad for Mike Trout and his legacy especially. We already had the COVID year. We already had last year where he missed a lot of the season with injury. So now this season, another year in his prime, could be gone due to the lockout. Obviously, we know Mike Trout, one of the best players maybe of all time. And that, I think, you know, missing out on pretty much 3 years of stats, that's going to hurt his case, and it's going to hurt his numbers when you put him up to some of the other greatest players that ever played the game. So it is what it is. I mean, you guys let me know.
Smoking away all my pain. Couple Coronas, let's pour some drink. I'm just being in love, I swear those were the days. Yeah, I might never have them again. Everything is always good, everything is always great. That's what I tell myself. How can I make a change? Everything ain't always good, everything ain't always great. Yeah, I need to make a change. I need a great escape. I need her next to me. Temporary feelings turn into permanent memories. I just can't seem to move on without